Well, good morning. Welcome to Space Oddities. Thank you for joining us this morning. We're here for, forget what it just said on the screen, that was yesterday, the successful Ariane 6 launch. We're here for the launch of Crew 12 to the International Space Station. And this will actually be the 13th launch by SpaceX of a crew. The first mission was a test mission, so it didn't go to the ISS. So in total, although this is Crew 12, this will be the 13th launch. And if anybody's superstitious, it's the 13th launch on February the 13th. So let's hope that let's hope things go well. Joined this morning by Daz. How?
I mute me mic. Can you hear me now? I can hear you.
That's interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
Now I can. Yeah, now I can. Yeah. Okay. As you said, I hadn't realised until you've mentioned it's Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
So I'm going to immediately dive off, grab a load of rabbit feet, and get me fingers, toes, and everything crossed. I dread to mention it. We were talking about this just a second ago. Of course, Apollo 13 launched on the 13th at 13:13 hours.
That's right.
And we know what happened there. So
Yeah.
so let's just fingers crossed that none of this is going to happen. This is a different era.
Yeah. It's going to be fine. I mean, in case you missed it, viewers, this is the 13th launch of a crew by SpaceX. Although this is Crew 12, there was a test mission for the first one, but this is actually the 13th launch on February the 13th. So we'll have to see how it goes. We've also got something new coming up today, which we're particularly looking forward to seeing. The first stage of the Falcon 9 will land at landing pad 40, which is a new landing pad, and it's right next to the launch pad. So it will come back to where it launched from. So we're looking forward to seeing that for the first time. It's never been done before, so this is something new. We love new things, don't we, Daz?
So we do. I just hope they've got the coordinates spot on.
Yeah. So who's flying? Let's show you a quick video from NASA, all about the crew. Bear in mind, there's no sound on this video, but it's very short. It's only a minute. So this is all about the crew. So we've got 4 crew, 2 ladies and 2 gentlemen. We've got 2 from NASA, 1 from the European Space Agency, and 1 from Roscosmos, the Russian space agency. So this will be a mixed flight, as it were. I think, is it Jessica Daz that is flying for the first time? One of the ladies, I think, is flying for the first time.
Yeah, I think it's
or is it Sophie?
Let me just see if I can find out.
No, I think it's Sophie from the European Space Agency. It's her first space flight. So she doesn't look like she's wearing brown trousers, but I bet understandably she's extremely nervous about this. I would be. So this is all about the crew. So we're looking at liftoff in about 10 minutes. And of course, if you have any questions, viewers, please put them in the comments as always. Don't forget that, as always, we've got our Tuesday live stream coming up predictably next Tuesday. Not quite sure what we're doing for that yet, but we will bring you more astronomy, space exploration, astrophysics, cosmology, anything to do with the universe. Will be here, as always, on Tuesdays to bring you all the latest space news and everything else. So, any thoughts about this mission, Daz? I mean, it's become sort of routine for SpaceX now, hasn't it?
It has. I mean, this one, of course, it was for a while. A couple of weeks ago, it looked as though it could be pushed back because the Falcon was launching some of those dreaded Starlink satellites, and the second stage failed. It did the mission, deployed all the satellites, but there was a slight issue with refiring the return and the engine for a return into the Earth's atmosphere. Of course, that sparked an FAA investigation, but because basically this is at the end of the mission, and it didn't really cause any sort of concerns about where it was going to come down, because everything is, even if they take into account sometimes, when these things do happen, when the engine doesn't relight, then it's going to come down safely. Um,
Yes.
so after sort of like about 4 or 5 days, they said, okay, then just carry on. So yes, this is like you say, Crew 12. If I remember, it was brought forward, wasn't it? Because of the in case it clashed with the SLS. But of course, the SLS
Oh, that's right.
is
Yes.
is delayed at the moment.
Delayed. Yes. Yes.
And but yeah, so I think they can, and also, of course, there's a lack of Americans actually on the International Space Station, because Crew 11 had to come back early for a personal medical problem that can
Yes.
only be really investigated and resolved back on Earth. So they brought them back early. So they need to get the crew up there, but get the rebalance going and get the science going again.
Yeah.
Although the science has carried on with the cosmonauts, and I think there's one American left on there.
Mm.
Of course, like I say, with the International Space Station, it's one of the few things we cooperate on with Russia, and which has always been ongoing. Although there's been some sort of like sometimes a little bit of friction, but no, there's nothing really serious.
No. Exactly.
But no, it's looking forward to it. Let's get them up there. They're probably looking forward to this. They've been training for this. Um, yeah, I can see it. For a minute, I thought I'd lost an astronaut. It's just tucked away right at the back. So I thought there's only three. They've lost one. So she's probably in the boot. But no, it's yeah. Let's get this going. Of course, yesterday we watched the successful launch of Ariane 6.
Yes.
And one thing I would like to say, I meant to mention it yesterday, but I totally forgot. Now, the Ariane 6 uses hydrogen as fuel.
Mm.
Now, how come they
I know
can
what you're going to
control
say.
the fuel and stop all the leaks, yet the SLS leaks like a bloody sieve every time they go to launch the thing?
Well,
Maybe they should take some hints from the how to build valves and all that. So
yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's a fair comparison between the two because they have a totally different design, totally different architecture.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. But
I mean, I know we were talking about like with the SLS the other day, and
yeah.
literally they were saying, I mean, this is Boeing. Oh, God.
Yeah.
This is Boeing, and they're saying literally every SLS is different
Yes.
because all the parts are bespoke. They're virtually handmade for every mission, and they
Yeah.
don't know until they get to the pad how it's gonna be, which is a ridiculous situation.
It is.
It well, you can't really wait until you've got the thing on the launch pad and fill it for the first time to see whether or not it's going to work.
No, absolutely.
How can let's put it this way, if you sucked it in sea every time you did something in an industry other than obviously going to the moon, then you'd be sacked every time you failed because, hang about, there's a fuel leak. Well, why
Yeah.
didn't you know that before?
Yeah. Exactly.
It's just one of those things. But hopefully, I mean, the SLS, I think, is chalked in for March. Oh, and also another thing I'd like to point out: the next launch of a crew to the SLS could be on the Starliner,
Ah, that's true.
because they're running uh, in the next SLS launch as a cargo mission. It's being called Starliner 1, if I remember right.
It
Very
is.
original.
Yeah.
It's being run as a cargo mission, but they've said that according to how the crew rotations work out, they will be taking the crew in a Starliner,
Mm.
the next crew, and it could be as early as the beginning at the end of this year,
Mm.
depending upon the rotations, if everything goes correct. So the next launch we may see with a crew on board is a Starliner,
Yeah.
and it's because I think they've got the next at least two missions that they've got contracted to do now, with the option of more to follow. So next time it may be a Starliner. We'll see. But I still think the Starliner, when you see inside it, it just looks like an old, knocked up bloody Apollo space because
Right.
it's not as tidy as the The
Dragon, yeah.
Dragon, yeah.
Yeah.
For some unknown reason, I had foxes in my head then. For some unknown reason, well, what the foxes got to do with it, I don't know. I do apologise. It's early.
Yeah, it is. Also, I see that ULA had another failure with the Vulcan, and they were launching a military satellite, and they had, I think, the same problem with the rocket nozzle burning through. I don't know whether you saw that.
But
That
the
was,
Vulcan, when was that?
That was 2 days ago, I think. So
I saw a launch with an Atlas V.
they had a problem with the Vulcan.
Oh, okay. Then I'll go back and I'll review that.
Yeah, do. Okay, we're going to go over to SpaceX's coverage now via NASA TV. So for the last few minutes of the countdown.
The next milestone coming up will be at T-minus 5 minutes, and that'll be when Dragon will transition to configure for terminal count. That's basically when Dragon will go on internal power.
And don't forget.
And we're coming up on that milestone in about 30 seconds from now.
Or questions or anything.
And then following that milestone, we will begin to get ready for strong back or the transporter erector TE to recline away from the vehicle. And that'll begin just about 30 seconds after that T-minus 5 minute mark.
Falcon 9 tanks will begin pressurizing for strong back retract.
Dragon is in configure for terminal count.
And there's that call out for Dragon configuring for terminal count, as well as we heard Falcon 9 propellant tanks pressurizing for that strong back retraction. So with the TE retraction, the clamp arms, which you can see on your screen, it's just below the Dragon vehicle there at the top of the second stage. Those will begin.
Strong back retract has started.
And now this process is going to begin. The clamp arms are going to open up. Once they are fully open, then the TE, which is that structure right next to the vehicle that you see on the right side, that'll begin to move slowly away from the vehicle. And there you can see on your screen that those clamp arms are starting to open up now. So it will reach full recline by T-minus 3 minutes and 40 seconds. And the TE rolls Falcon 9 out to the pad, raises it vertical, and stays connected through the final seconds before liftoff. It provides fuel, power, telemetry, and command connections between ground systems and the vehicle.
And the next major milestone that we are awaiting this morning is that stage 1 LOX load is complete. Propellant is loaded late in the countdown, which is intentional because that colder propellant is denser, and denser propellants mean more performance out of the same tanks. The colder it is, the more mass you can move. Before any of that propellant flows, though, the plumbing and engines are chilled down. This prevents thermal shock and boil off when the ultra-cold liquid starts moving. You may hear that referred to as engine chill. Loading wraps in 2 steps. The first stage finishes around T-minus 3 minutes. We'll hear that call out here any second. And the second stage finishes about a minute later. And you are seeing those white clouds of vapor on...
Stage 1 LOX load is complete.
Right on time, as expected. Stage 1 LOX load is complete. And you are seeing those white vapor clouds on your screen. This is normal and will continue as we do get closer to launch.
Yeah, and that call out was for...
Dragon is in terminal count and is on internal power.
That call out was for stage 1 liquid oxygen loading completion, but stage 2 is still actually loading that cold liquid oxygen, which will wrap up at the T-minus 2 minute mark in just about 25 seconds from now. Once liquid oxygen is complete, that'll mean that there is 1 million pounds of propellant loaded on Falcon 9, and that includes RP1, a highly refined kerosene, and liquid oxygen, which is super chilled to over 300 degrees below zero.
Here we go, coming up to the 2 minute mark.
Go to internal power.
Who have we got with us this morning? Say hi in the chat if you would like to.
Stage 2 LOX load is complete.
And great call out Stage 2 liquid oxygen loading is complete. That means that Falcon 9 is fully loaded with propellants.
Dragon is in auto idle.
Now gas close.
Gas closeouts will start in 5 seconds. Expect loud venting.
Great. Gas closeout has also begun just now, so we're isolating all the feed lines for the different gas systems from the Falcon 9 rocket. Those gases will then get vented overboard through umbilicals and the strong back. And actually, if you listen closely, you can hear some of that venting from the vehicle. Obviously, rockets are very loud, and sound can impart pressure loads back on the rocket itself. A ton of water absorbs and prevents the sound from hitting the structure and reverberating back onto the vehicle.
FTS is armed and Falcon 9 is in startup.
And great call
Dragon
out.
is in countdown.
Great, it's in startup, which means that basically the vehicle is controlling the countdown now.
And configured for launch. Now less than 1 minute away from the launch of Crew 12.
SpaceX, go for launch.
Great call out there. Go for launch. At the time of launch, space station.
Dragon, we are go for launch.
At the time of launch, space station will be flying 260 statute miles over the South Pacific Ocean east of New Zealand.
SpaceX is go, Crew is go. Let's watch as Falcon 9 takes Crew 12 out into space.
T-minus 15 seconds. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
Here we go.
4, 3, 2, 1, ignition, and liftoff. Go Falcon, go Dragon, and Godspeed Crew 12.
And liftoff. Freedom flies
Brilliant.
bound for the International Space Station.
Wow.
1.7 million pounds of thrust now propelling Falcon 9 and Crew 12. Vehicle is pitching downrange and all 9 Merlin vehicles have lit. We're getting good call outs on the first stage performance and propulsion so far.
Plus 30 seconds into the Crew 12 mission on board Dragon and Falcon 9. The vehicle is going to throttle down in preparation for max Q. That's the largest structural load that the vehicle will see on ascent.
Power and telemetry nominal.
Good call outs there.
Stage 1 throttle down.
There's that call out for stage 1 throttle down. Pass through max Q in a few seconds here.
Max Q.
Great news. We have passed through max Q.
Vehicle is supersonic.
That call out that the vehicle is supersonic means it's traveling faster than the speed of sound.
Stage 1 throttle up.
Stage 1 now throttling up.
1 Bravo.
That call out for 1 Bravo
Copy, 1
means
Bravo.
we're in the second and final abort mode for the first stage, continuing to get good performance. The crew is now already pulling over 2 Gs. Next up, we'll have a couple events
Stage 2 engine chill.
happening in rapid succession. First is that engine chill on the second stage MVAC engine, and then we'll have MECO, or main engine cutoff, where the 9 engines on the first stage will cut off ahead of the first and second stages, separating from one another. Then the single Merlin vacuum engine on the second stage will ignite, continuing to carry Crew 12 to orbit, while the first stage begins its journey back to Earth.
The 9 Merlin engines are starting to throttle down and standing by for MECO, or main engine cutoff.
Stage 1 throttle down.
There's that call out. And in just a few seconds here, we will have MECO stage separation, stage 1 flip maneuver for the booster to make its way back to Earth, SES-1, and the start of the boost back burn.
MECO.
2 Alpha.
Copy, 2 Alpha.
Stage separation confirmed.
Fantastic. Wow, lovely view, look.
And back position.
Wow.
And incredible views. We've had MECO stage separation. You can see that booster coming back down to Earth, and that MVAC engine has ignited, which you can see clearly there on your screen. And the Dragon spacecraft with Crew 12 is still attached to the Falcon 9 second stage. The next milestone that we have coming up will be the start of the stage 1 boost back burn. And that burn is the first of 3 burns that stage 1 has to help it return back to Earth.
We are now 3 minutes and 30 seconds into today's flight of Crew 12. The second stage of the Lone Merlin engine has lit and continues to burn, as you can see on your screen. Stage 2 continues to be performing well with a good trajectory, and will continue firing until we reach about 8 minutes into today's flight.
Another flawless launch, Daz.
Certainly
And we're
was.
getting
I
our
mean,
first
we're getting
view.
so used to this
Nominal
now.
trajectory.
Getting good
But it's
callouts
never
of the trajectory, as well as our first views
never a
of the crew
dull
inside Freedom.
sight. I wonder if they're going to show us the
A few minutes remaining in
landing
this burn
of
before
the
a couple
booster.
of
I
these
would think so.
astronauts will
A
experience
little way off, yeah.
weightlessness for the
Yeah, we've
first
got a
time.
few minutes before the landing of the first stage. It's coming up on the entry burn in a couple of minutes, and then shortly
The
after is the
crew's
landing burn.
G-load did dip right when we hit that MECO, or main engine cutoff event, and now it's going to continue to build up again until the second stage shuts down. Everything's still continuing to go well. Now 4 minutes and 45 seconds into today's launch of Crew 12.
Dragon, SpaceX, nominal trajectory.
Second stage will continue to fire
Dragon copies, nominal.
until close to 9 minutes into the flight, which will accelerate Dragon to more than 17,000 miles per hour and place our crew in orbit. This Merlin vacuum engine can produce over 220,000 pounds of thrust in the vacuum of space.
Meanwhile, the first stage booster is now on its way back to landing zone 40. Stage 1 is coasting, has already coasted to apogee, and the grid fins are helping to guide it back to Earth.
It'll be good to
And
see
we've
a
already
night
had the
landing,
boost
won't
back
it, of the
burn, so
booster?
the next event coming up will be the entry burn.
Yeah, that'll be
That will
different. You'll be able to spot
3
that
of
from
those 9
quite a
M1D
distance.
engines reigniting, and that helps slow the vehicle down as it's re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. Once that entry burn concludes, we use the
Dragon, SpaceX, nominal trajectory.
drag from the atmosphere to help slow the vehicle down until landing.
Dragon copies.
And that entry burn is coming up in just about 20 seconds from now.
Oh, that's spectacular.
Falcon 9 does have a heat shield that is designed to protect the engines in the vehicle from that combined thermal and aerodynamic loading during max entry Q, which is the moment of max stress on the vehicle during entry.
We're not
Stage 1
seeing
entry burn startup.
the first stage. Are
And
they going
you've
to show
heard
us
that
the first
call
stage?
out. The
Apparently
entry
not.
burn has
No,
begun.
I'm watching it on NASA's space flight, and they've just done the entry reburn. It's
Stage 1
actually
entry burn shut
re-entering. You can still see it glowing from the entry burn.
Yeah.
And the entry
And of course,
burn has
it is still
concluded for
heating
the
up.
first stage vehicle. 2 of 3 burns
The
done.
images from it are
Next up
quite
will be the
spectacular
landing burn
because
for
you
the
can
first
see the
stage.
city lights.
We should
So,
flip over to
Dragon,
NASA space
SpaceX,
flight then.
nominal trajectory.
And everything
Dragon copies.
That's by the time you've done that,
Everything
it'll be
continuing to be
virtually there.
nominal.
It's
We're
just
about
coming back now.
20
It's doing the
seconds
landing
away
burn
or
now.
So from that landing burn starting up on the first stage, it'll be a single center E9
Actually, that's strange
engine
to
that
see it come the
ignites
tower there.
and help slow the vehicle down
'Cause it's
just
lit up
in
the
time
tower, it
to
comes.
touch down for landing at our newest landing zone,
And
landing zone
boom.
40.
Perfect.
Okay, we will bring you that
We have just a couple
Stage 1
minutes.
landing
in a second. Oh, here we go.
Stage 2, MTS safe.
And landing
Oh,
burn has
okay,
begun.
then.
Let's watch as Falcon 9
Bit
touches down.
behind that. Wow. That.
Well,
Perfect.
Stage 1
not quite the
What an
bullseye. I think it's in the
excellent view.
25.
Falcon
Good
9
enough.
Yeah.
touching down for the very first
Yeah, it's good
time
enough.
at landing zone 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station.
Okay, what I think we'll do, we will
Congratulations. That is
run
so
this
exciting
until
to
the
see. And on your screen, we
separation of the
also have a
Dragon,
great view
because
of
after
the
that it will be
second
the long
stage
coast to the
continuing to fire.
ISS.
That burn is going to last for
Yeah,
just
it's
about another
got
minute, and then we'll have
about
SECO, or
36
second
hours,
engine
I think it
cutoff,
is,
which
to
will
coast.
occur
36,
where the
quite long.
Merlin
It'll
vacuum
actually
engine
dock
cuts off and
on
stops
February the
firing.
Stage
14th,
2 is in terminal guidance.
at
Once that
about
happens, the
just
second
after 8
stage will
o'clock in the
continue to
evening.
coast for about 3 minutes while still attached to Dragon,
So yeah, so
until
it's a
Dragon is
36
then commanded to
hours
separate.
coast, around about
At
that.
this point, Dragon will be
So,
flying free with Crew
I mean,
12 on
unlike
board
the
and in
Chinese, who
Earth's orbit.
literally launch as
Copy,
the
Shannon.
their
And
space
that call
station's
out
coming
for
over,
Shannon
and they usually
refers
dock
to
within
Shannon,
2 or 3
Ireland,
hours.
Yeah.
and is our final abort zone
So,
in
I
the
mean, I can
second
remember
stage.
watching one of these
Continuing to get good
launches,
performance.
and it was one of the rare occasions
After
we
this
had some
second
clear
stage,
skies in the UK,
Mm.
and I
there
was
we had
able
that
to
call
watch
out
the
for
International
SECO
Space Station
and engine shutdown.
go over, and then about 5 minutes later, the
Dragon,
Dragon
SpaceX, we have a
flew over, and you
nominal
could
orbit
Oh,
insertion.
fantastic.
I was able to film both of them
That
go
is
across the sky.
great
Fantastic.
news hearing,
Dragon copies, nominal
It's
insertion.
quite
Wonderful
quite a
ride.
sight.
Yeah, indeed, indeed.
hearing good call outs following
Launch
second
escape
stage.
system
So
disarmed.
we're just waiting now.
You heard that call out that the crew is in a nominal or as expected
Everything
orbit.
seems to be
So
going
again, we're
well,
going to
no
continue to
problems.
coast for a few minutes after SECO to allow those rates in motion from the burn to settle out. There are some small reaction thrusters on the upper part of the second stage that can be used to counteract any residual motion, basically making sure that we're in a stable coast before Dragon separates from Falcon, which will
There it
happen,
goes.
as you see on your screen, right on time.
There we are. Wow, look at that.
Dragon now flying
Yeah.
free.
Dragon
There
separation
they go.
confirmed.
So cool.
Dragon copies.
Beautiful shot.
What a great view with the Crew 12 crew on board Dragon Freedom separating from Falcon 9's second stage.
Lovely with the sunrise in the background.
Dragon Freedom, Chief Engineer, Jessica, Jack, Sophie.
What a lovely
Andre,
shot.
Welcome to
Yeah.
orbit. On behalf of the entire Falcon team, we thank you for flying
Really
with
see
Falcon 9.
the thin
Dragon will
atmosphere
take
of
you
the
from
Earth.
here. Over
Yeah.
to our launch director for a few words.
It turns out Friday the 13th is a very lucky day. Jessica, Jack, Sophie, Andre, it's been a pleasure training with you and preparing for your flight. From the entire Falcon launch team, thank you, good luck, and Godspeed to the crew of Freedom.
Morning, Sandra. Hope you're well.
Just as a comparison, that's the thickness of the atmosphere. If it was an orange, it would be just literally the thickness of the orange pith on the outside, not the white bit underneath. It would
No,
just be the
sorry.
thin orange bit over the top.
Nice. Well, that's mesmerizing. Look at that.
Yeah, it is.
The vast oceans, the continuous land masses, and all that they contain. We are one humankind here on our shared home planet. This becomes self-evident as astronauts peering down from above, and is a sentiment that would serve us all well to remember back on the ground. We see the thin,
Amazing.
tenuous band of an atmosphere solely responsible for supporting all life on this planet, and we know that it is utterly unique, fragile, and must be protected. To those supporting and watching our journey, please know that your spirit travels with us, stitched into the very fabric of all that we do. We hope that our arrival in space reminds all of you that dreams truly can become reality, given dedication, perseverance, and yes, a bit of luck along the way. Crew 12 is grateful and ready for the journey ahead.
What a
On our
lovely
way.
shot. Look at that.
Andre?
Certainly is. The sun reflecting
Yeah.
off the clouds.
Beautiful morning.
It certainly is. It certainly is. Of course, they launched in the dark. They're 5 hours behind us, so
Все системы работают штатно. С этой высоты наша Земля выглядит невероятно хрупкой и целостной. Здесь не видно границ.
Here we are then.
Только тонкая голубая
Okay.
линия атмосферы, которая защищает все живое. Именно
lovely.
этот вид напоминает нам о главном.
Well, I think we will leave it there for this morning. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Don't forget our Tuesday live stream, as always, 8 o'clock UK on the channel on Tuesday. I'd like to thank you all for being here. And if there's any news, of course, we will keep you updated. But we've got the Artemis launch coming up in just a few weeks now. We'll be looking at it.
Oh, Sandra said she missed the
Never
launch.
mind, Sandra, you can watch it back. So there we are. All right then, from Daz and myself and everybody on the Space Oddities team, thank you for being here, and we'd like to wish you a very good morning and have a fantastic weekend, everybody. And if you're in the UK, I hope it stops raining for you. But anyway, we will see. All right then, from Daz and myself, take care of yourselves, and thanks for being here.